Do you ever get that decision overwhelm? Like you want something, but it just seems as though to decide to do something new is just absolutely overwhelming. Well, I have good news for you, because in this article, we're going to dive into this subject. And then, of course, on Monday, October 2nd, we're going to go deeper into it. So we're going to get started right here, right now. So before I get going with this topic, I want to say something really obvious. I'm not in New Hampshire. I'm not in New Hampshire. And it was a big decision not to be in New Hampshire. And let me tell you a little bit about the decision to go here. I am in Phoenix, Arizona. I am not on vacation. Yes, I am outdoors. It's real hot here, not to complain, but it's real hot here. I made this decision not lightly. I made a decision to leave for 5 days, leave my full-time work. I am working, but not as much as I could work at home. I decided to, leave my family. I do have other parts of my family at my own house. And I decided that I really needed to help my adult son, because he was in a pretty big transition pickle. So it seemed to be the right thing to do, and it wasn't an easy decision. I could have easily gotten stuck in decision overwhelm and not done anything. So I'll give you an example about somebody that I very recently spoke to. She is not a client at this time. However, she was referred to me by somebody I know really well. And when I spoke to her, she really did want to change things. And she kept saying how she is disorganized. Well, I'd like to be X, Y, or Z. I'd like to have this in my business and this in my life, and I'd like to have less of this and more of that. The things that we usually want in our lives, like more peace, less chaos, more money, more ease, more time for ourselves, all those things. But she was unable to make a true decision to do this. It felt too big and too overwhelming. So if you've ever been in that kind of a situation, I want you to really lean in, pay attention, and absolutely be sure to come to Wisdom Warriors on Monday. We will actually, on Monday, I'm gonna be giving you a tool, a decision-making tool that you can use over and over again. And we're also going to dive into some other stuff. But right now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this person I spoke with. And what I'm realizing in reflecting this conversation is that this person is really defining herself as disorganized. Now, whatever we define ourselves as, we are. So that mindset thing could be disallowing her to take that step. So that's one thing. And then the other thing that will now allow you to take a step, besides moving your mindset around, is to make the steps a lot smaller. So when the step is way too big, and it would be like you'd almost have an existential crisis by changing absolutely everything in your life, even though you know that would be helpful. What's really going to be helpful is to dial it down to one small change that you can do. That's one thing. The other thing that I'm going to cover now is mantras. You probably have heard of mantras. And your mantra, if you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm a disorganized person, perhaps you might want to change that to, I am organized, focused, and productive. That could be your new mantra. However, I want to show you a pitfall. And the pitfall is to go from one to the other with no steps in the middle. Because here's the thing, your brain had been hearing for years about how you're an unorganized person, a disorganized person. All of a sudden, your brain is hearing, I'm focused, organized, and productive. Well, your brain's like, well, that's a load of you-know-what. Because your brain has so much evidence to the contrary. So what you want to do is you want to say this instead for as a mantra. I am in the process of becoming organized enough. Your brain can believe that because it's not an outright lie. It's actually really a good one. So there you go. So 1 is make a small step. 2 is change your mantra to something that you can actually believe. And then the last thing I want to address is that when we're trying to decide what to change, and that I want you to make a T chart. And here is the idea. So on one side, you might, you'll make a T chart. So like put a vertical line down the middle of your paper. And at the top of your paper on the upper left, you write down don't like. And then on the right hand, it's want instead. And then put a line under that. And that's a T chart. Okay? So on the left hand side, that's really easy. What I don't like. We're always talking about, quitting smoking, losing weight. What I don't like is coming home to messy papers at the end of the day and not having any, chutzpah to do anything about it. Whatever your thing is you don't like. And then what you want to do is over here, want instead, is like things like have energy, feel peaceful, feel light, whatever the case may be. And you want to create this T chart so that you now have an idea of not just totally becoming your big, hairy, audacious goal thing that feels so overwhelming that you just can't do it, and just create a smaller list of step by step by step, line by line, things that you can now actually address. So those are some 3 tips to get yourself going. Again, I have a tool that I'm going to be giving you on Monday, so you don't want to miss it. And we're going to be diving into a lot of other cool things. Let me look at my notes. I know there's at least one other thing I wanted to tell you. I don't remember what the other one was, but I will do the tool, and I will do whatever else comes up, because you know what I know? I am really good at being in the moment and helping you out right there and then. So I am so excited. I'm going to be back. I'll have my sweater on, probably with the heat up full blast, because of all this hot weather that I'm getting used to. So noontime Eastern on Monday. If you're not a wisdom warrior, for goodness sake, it's free. You got to come. I cannot wait to meet you if I don't know you. Let's rock this thing. See you there.